Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. This is going to be kind of a raw show. I kind of like it like this, actually. We used to put up big things here. We'll go back to that eventually. It's just, there's not a whole lot on the slate, so that's why it's kind of like this. So we'll be talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine and Trap box office today. We'll be talking about the House of the Dragon season finale. It's apparently not resonating with the fan. What else we got here? We got some 4K releases that we'll be talking about. We got our first look at The Last of Us Season 2. And yeah, as I said, it's really not all that much, but we'll get through it. Don't worry. But let's start off today's show by talking about what happened last night. Season 2 of House of the Dragon wrapped up, and I said it was a little lackluster during our live reaction. I guess I wasn't the only one. House of the Dragon fans upset by Season 2 finale. Wait, that's it? Yeah. So, great episode, but it had no business being House of the Dragon finale, and I kind of have to echo that sentiment when I was watching it, because we spent a lot of time with this Lannister trying to recruit some people, and he had to fight this girl, and this girl wanted him to sire her wives, and it's like, what does this have to do with the rest of the story that you just set us up and that we're building towards, right? It was kind of like, oh my god. It's a bit frustrating, and I'm happy that I'm not the only one here that seems to echo that anticlimactic, and that's the point. So, sadly, guys, as we look at some of these documents and some of the reactions, that was bad, right? Woof, what a letdown. Why did they end it here? It's a 2-year wait, and the build-up itself drawn out and boring. Also, why are all these main characters just floating in and out of KL and Dragonstone? Like it's nothing. Starting to think that Davos wasn't all that impressive at all. Yeah, with... sorry for spoiler alert, guys, but Allison just shows up at their castle? What? No. Yeah. It was an interesting scene. It was a good scene. That it's always good to see Rhaenyra and Allison talking, but they stretched it a little. And I've got a word of caution now that I have to put out here for the writers of House of the Dragon. You've pointed us towards the direction, a conflict between the green table and the black table, right? That was set in motion at the end of season 1. We have yet to have any big major butting of heads there, like armies coming together to fight. We've seen Kriston go on his little escapades or whatever. We saw Aegon fall and get burned, but usually, well, because of Game of Thrones, season finales have always been, oh, wow, can't wait for the next season. This reaction, the reaction that seems to be here, and I echo what people are feeling, is that we didn't get that with this. It was all like, okay, this is all the setup now for what's going to be paid off maybe in season 3. We know that they wanted to try to have 5 seasons of this. So it's like, it's frustrating. And my word of caution is that, yeah, you set us in motion for this battle that's going to be happening, but it's kind of like what happened to The Walking Dead. All right, I got to walk over to this next camp, but I'm going to take an entire episode for me to walk over to that camp, kind of thing, right? And instead of taking, and then that got stretched out to a whole season. Okay, we got to fight these guys. Now we're on our way there. We should be there in the next episode, but we're not going to get there until the end of this season, kind of thing. That's what I'm worried about with House of the Dragon, is that you're now stretching this material out so much that it's starting to get thin. And it sucks because the Rhaenyra story and Alicent's story is interesting, but when you spend time mud wrestling in the finale with a character we haven't seen before, we've seen the Lannister character before, but we haven't seen this other character before. It's like, this is the finale, man. Show us something that makes us go, oh my God, this is Game of Thrones. This is House of the Dragon. This is good storytelling. So when people come up and say, that was bad, right? Yeah. Aemon shut down of Kale. Waters really doing wonders that Alicent can just show up herself all the way to Dragonstone. Yeah. So why not just kill her and have it end, right? She floated. Yeah, they told us 8 episodes instead of 10 was better for the story, LMO. And I almost feel like season 2 could have been told in 6 episodes. Cut down a lot of the Daemon, oh, I don't know if I should switch or not, mulling over and getting hallucinations in the castle. Get rid of that story of the girl running after the dragons that just seems to go on and on. And it's got its issues now, which sucks because it wasn't like that up till episode 7, right? Because it should have driven us home into something more significant and substantial happening in that final episode to make us go, I can't wait for season 3. And now it's kind of like, it feels almost like it wasn't worth it, which kind of sucks. It does suck. So it was a misstep. I would say the first real misstep for House of the Dragon. You have had all this great quantity, but because you wanted to stretch it out, remember, lead with your best material. Give the best material. When you stretch it out, when you know that you are stretching it out, that's when your show is going to have problems. And House of the Dragon just made their first big one, which kind of sucks because I really like the show. I like the cast. I like the cinematography. I like the score. You watch my reactions and I'm like very genuine about it all, guys, but I got to call it out when I see it. And when people say it's so inconsistent and questionable, why is Helena astral projecting now? If she can see Daemon's fate, why was she only vague mumbling about rats in the walls when it came to her own son? Yep. Yeah, the logic is starting to come apart a little bit, right? And that's because you have stretched it out. You're putting in all these other storylines and stuff like that, which did pay off with Ulf and that other guy, the father that was looking after his family, who rode the bigger dragon. Like those characters came back in, but then you're introducing another. The finale is not when you introduce new characters, unless you're introducing a big bad guy like the Night King or whatever, where you just see him standing there at the end, kind of thing, right? That's the kind of finale that we were expecting, and we got flashes of the White Walkers in Daemon's hallucinations, but it's not one that's going to go down in the annals of history as one of the best season finales ever. It makes me kind of like a little apprehensive now for other spin-offs. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms first look teases Game of Thrones spin-off. Like, are they going to do this with all? It felt like they were milking it, right? It felt like they were milking their storyline, and I don't like that. So whatever this Night of the Seven Kingdoms is, I am like not as enthusiastic about it as I should be. All right. So what did you guys think? Did you see the finale for House of the Dragon season 2? Are you like the rest of us where we're kind of like, oh, guys, what are you doing? Right? All right. So with that being said, let's move on to the weekend's box office report for the weekend of August 2nd to the 4th. The top 5 go. Number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 2, Twisters. Number 3, Trap. Number 4, Despicable Me 4. And number 5, Inside Out 2, with Harold in the Purple Crayon not being able to crack into the top 5, getting the 6th spot with 6 million. So we got some re-releases, got a few indie movies that also released, and let's just get to Deadpool and Wolverine. That's getting close to that $1 billion mark. 395 domestically, 428.5 internationally, for a worldwide total of 824 million for Deadpool and Wolverine. And even if it were to slow down now, like get cut down to like 20%, it would still crawl to that $1 billion line. And it's going to make $1 billion because there's not that much opening up this weekend. Well, it ends with Us, Blake Lively. Okay, that's coming out. And Borderlands, which I think is going to be a monumental bomb. The marketing just, I don't know, it hasn't done it justice. I'm going to prioritize seeing it. I just don't know if I can see that 4 o'clock show there. Let me see what the 4:45. Why is it 4:4? Why is Borderlands so late? 4:45 there, 4:50 there. So, wait, I guess I could make it. Yeah, I'm probably going to go see Borderlands. Yeah, I'll see Borderlands first, and then I'll see It Ends With Us on the weekend. So, yeah, that's what I'll do. All right. So, whoops. Deadpool and Wolverine, unless Borderland crushes, which I haven't been hearing any buzz at all for that. I think Deadpool and Wolverine will probably see, like, if that was 97 million was chopped in almost in half, 54% drop. Even if it drops another 54%, it's going to be around 50 million. Is Borderlands or that Blake Lively picture going to make more than 50 million? I doubt it. There's absolutely no buzz for Borderlands. So I think Deadpool and Wolverine will retain for 3 weeks in a row, number one. Twisters has been dropping. So I think it'll go Deadpool and Wolverine, Borderlands, somewhere around 25 million, maybe. I think Trap. No, I think it'll go. Then I think Twisters will be number 3. And then that Blake Lively picture, and then Trap. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I don't think that Blake Lively pictures. I don't know. Maybe it'll be just like Harold and the Purple Crayon that didn't do all that well, right? Because that Harold was 6th. What did people say about it? 26% by critics, 92 by the audience. So people who went out to see it seemed to like it. For boys aged as 6 to 8 loved it. It did the book justice. Critics didn't like it, though. They raked it over the coals. New York Magazine, Harold and the Purple Crayon makes a classic Hollywood mistake of taking a story that was lovely because of its concision and simplicity, and turns it into a movie that is long and complicated for no good reason. Okay, well, this just wasn't the right time for this. I think if this came out like a month earlier or something, no, I don't know. There must have been a better release window. The Harold and the Purple Crayon, I'm going to chalk up to just it's bad timing for a release. Yeah. But I don't think there's a point to bring that up, is there? 6 million domestic, 3 internationally, 9 worldwide. This is the one where they're going, whoops. What did we do wrong, guys? Columbia Pictures is going, yeah. Where am I at? Oh yeah, I pulled a couple of Wesley Snipes stories from the Deadpool story. I forgot about this. Wesley Snipes breaks 2 Guinness World Records after Blade return in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, um, oddly enough, he's the longest superhero to ever appear in films. Uh, that's one of them. You know how Hugh Jackman started in like 2000s with X-Men? Well, Blade was even before that. So Blade came out first, and I think it's only by a couple of months that he beats Hugh Jackman, because now that he is in Deadpool and Wolverine, makes him the longest serving superhero, which is kind of cool, which is really cool. Um, and then the other one is just the amount of time of appearances between movies, between Deadpool, or sorry, Blade 3 and Deadpool and Wolverine. It's been a long gap for Wesley Snipes to appear. That's the only that. So that's the two. That's interesting. Just thought it'd be worth mentioning. But because of his appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine, fans call for Wesley Snipes to continue as Blade after Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, he's not really a cameo, guys. He's actually in the film a fair bit, which has made a lot of us fans say, well, like, look at him. He's in his 60s, but he can still do it. He can still do an old man Blade story. And he's already technically inside the MCU now. I still think that 1998 is when Blade came out. 62. 62, guys. And look at him. He can still do it. He's got a couple of action scenes in Deadpool and Wolverine where you're like, this, no, why? There is only one Blade, as he says. It was just a lot of fun. And I think he could do it. You said that these two people, that they hated each other. It doesn't look like it. I think they just said that that was just kind of an urban legend. Somebody said that they didn't like each other. But I think Wesley Snipes has come out and scorched that during press. He said, oh, yeah, no, I don't know where that came from, kind of thing. I'm sure there must have been some beefs on the Trinity set, Blade Trinity. But I think it's overall fine. But what do you guys think? Do you agree? Like Mahershala Ali's 50, 62. Well, I guess he has some 12 years, but still. What's your plans for Blade in the MCU? Like, if you can't get the Blade movie made, just keep Wesley Snipes appearing as Blade in the MCU. Have him show up in Avengers Secret Wars. Why not? I think most people would be like, yeah. And then you could do like an old man Blade story or something like that. I think that could work. But you still got to explain vampires somehow in the MCU. So, what do you guys think about these headlines? Chris Over, I went to see Deadpool and Wolverine on July 26th. I actually loved an interesting twist in the MCU universe. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is awesome. I think I'm gonna go to a Tuesday matinee for like half price. It's like $6 on Tuesdays. All right, we're still going through the box office here, guys. It's my bad. Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, was in third spot with 15.6 million. That's the movie I went out to go see. So this is the Josh Hartnett picture. It's getting some mixed reviews out there. A lot of people are like, meh. But then there are some ardent defenders of it that showed up in our comment section. And we'll maybe get to the comment section after we've done our little roundup here. Trap, 15 domestically, 4.4 internationally, 20 million worldwide. And I didn't hate Trap. I didn't think it was all that memorable, but see if I can pull up Trap here on the IMDb. 51% by critics, 65% by the audience. I like the fact that it was filmed in Canada. where the Blue Jays play is this stadium that they used, even though I think they changed the actual stadium inside where the concert was going was not the Rogers Center. So they used another. Uh, I think it might have been a mishmash of the Scotiabank place and Rogers Center. But I liked it because Josh Hartnett was pretty good in it. Uh, zero unrealistic, zero plot, and not suspenseful or thrilling movie. Laughable about how bad it was. Some fans say. No, no, it wasn't a terrible movie. Uh, but it's not one where you're like, I want to revisit it. Josh Hartnett was really good in it. Uh, he's the killer. They 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 show that in the trailers. You think that there could be a plot twist that no, it's really the daughter and he's trying to protect her. No, he's the killer. Um, but the movie takes like an hour to establish all that. There's a nice cat and mouse within the actual arena itself for him to try to get out. And then it it goes on into the third act outside the arena, and that's where it kind of falls apart, right? Where it's just like too many Deus ex machina things were happening. Where it's like this has to be right there for this to happen. You have to do this perfectly, otherwise this scene wouldn't be able to work out. Oh, the guy that's going to let you backstage just happens to be standing there, so you can go talk to him and make a pitch to have him let you backstage. And it's like, no, no, okay, Shyamalan, this is a bit of a stretch. I'm not with the people out there that say that it's just strict nepotism to have his daughter, uh, Suleika, sing. She did fine. She acted fine, but it just became a little too outlandish, I would say, in the third act. Outlandish, where it's like, you really got to suspend your disbelief. And it took me out. So I'm probably more around the audience score, a 6.5, maybe a 6 for Trap. I didn't do a formal review because we're trying to get away from that. People just aren't watching the formal reviews. But 20 million, 20 million for Trap, I don't know if it is going to be good enough. See what the budget was. 30 million. So 30 million, $20 million opening haul. It's going to make the $30 million back like over its run. It may even get to 40 million, but it's not going to break even. It's not going to be an overly huge success other than keeping Josh Hartnett in people's minds of like, that guy's a good actor. And he is. Does it deserve a better fate? Well, you want all films to succeed. But as you can see, some of the headlines here. Trap chops 6.7 million opening day. At a Taylor Swift concert, no one can hear you scream. Well, no, it's not. It's they're trying to emulate like a Taylor Swift concert. Stage is not nowhere near as impressive as the Eras tour, but it worked for what they were trying to do with it. Yeah, the studios is going to have to eat that one up. But they got a poll up on Joe Blow. What's your favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie? So I thought we would just take a quick look at this. Trap, Knock at the Cabin, Old, Glass, Split. It's hard not to go with Sixth Sense, right? I also like Unbreakable. I like Signs. But, and I'm one of the few people out there that tolerate Lady in the Water, mostly because of Dallas Bryce Howard. And Paul Giamatti, actually, I thought was a really good, Lady in the Water, but it's not that good. His worst film, I know a lot of people say that Last Airbender is probably his worst. I think After Earth is probably, it's cringeworthy. That's just because I got no stake in Avatar. I never watched the cartoon, so his live action movie didn't offend me as much as some other people's. But yeah, it's hard not to go with Sixth Sense because you got Tony Collette, Bruce Willis, um, putting on acting clinics, right? Tony Collette's so awesome. Uh, Unbreakable is also really good, but it's got that hokey ending where they freeze frame it and they say this guy got sent to a mental hospital. It's like what, what? So we'll vote Sixth Sense. I'm guessing that's going to be number one. Let's take a look. Sixth Sense number one, then Unbreakable, then Signs, then Split off. Really? The Village, another Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, I like that one too. So what's the worst? Trap has only got no Wide Awake. It's because nobody ever saw that one, I don't think. But yeah, Last Airbender and After Earth. Really, Trap only got 2 votes, huh? So they think Trap is the worst. Not happening? What? No. Yeah. All right. So we're still trying to get through the box office here. Harold and the Purple Crayon we talked about. Twisters in the number 2 spot. 195.5 in domestically, 78.8 internationally, 274 worldwide. It's doing fine, I think. What's Twister's budget? $155 million. So it's not even, no, it hasn't been broken even yet. Twisters hasn't. And that's a shame, guys, because it's not a bad movie. It's fun. Go see it on a matinee, half price, cheap price if you got those options. If you're not willing to pay the full price, because it's a fun movie. It's a fun ride. It moves fast. It's got some really fun sequences in it. And Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones are awesome. Is that all? No. They're going to go shoot themselves in the foot because Twisters is on VOD this week. Isn't it a hit? Well, we just did the numbers and it's not quite a hit just yet. August 13th, at the end of the Olympics, you'll be able to finish, you'll be able to go online and watch Twisters. You need to put these out on VOD faster. 2 weeks would be great. I'd rather watch everything at home. See, now this is exactly what's wrong with everything. This is VOD is killing. This short release window is killing the box office. Studios and distribution houses need to stop this, right? Yeah, you want to try to get the most cheddar, and you've got some marketing information out there that say, okay, if we put it out now, we're going to make the most money. But you're jeopardizing your own box office revenues because of it. Because you get people like this. I just rather wait for it to come out on home, and I'll just wait a month and it'll be out and I can watch it then. I never get VOD anyway, and the movie is already a hit after 3 weeks. People can still choose to see it in theaters or not. The internet has no influence on people who actually have lives. That's not the one that I hit thumbs down, though, is it? I thumbs down that. Wow. I gotta sign in. I don't want to sign that in. This is so stupid. Sony did the same thing with Bad Boys. Are these studios actually saying we don't want to make too much money, so let's put it on VOD. That'll slow down the cash in a little bit of way. Yeah. It's moronicism. Despicable Me 4. It's digital tomorrow with 2 Minion mini movies. Who's looking forward to that? And Despicable Me 4 is still in the top 5, and that's 750. That's starting to level out though. It'll probably close somewhere around 850 million. So that's not going to make $1 billion. All right, guys, I think that's it. For box office. As I said, there's not a whole lot of stories out there today, but we'll get through some of these. The Last of Us Season 2 teaser. First look at key characters. Season 2 is coming out in 2025, guys. Uh, and we got some look at Catherine O'Hara, that dude, her, and her. Oh, great, James. That's very insightful. Thank you. Yeah, Max has got kind of like a montage reel of like all the shows that are coming out in the next year. So it's more than just The Last of Us, and just like that and stuff like that is on this little reel. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We just talked about the Game of Thrones spin-off again. Oh, and they got a first look at Derry. Welcome to Derry. It didn't really show us that much. I'm kind of curious about it. But The Last of Us, guys, if you've played the game, I'm waiting to see how they deal with one issue, right? Because we saw in Star Wars Mandalorian, end of season 2, Grogu and Mando went their separate ways. That was the natural arc of the stories that they were trying to tell. Except fans really liked it. They liked the two together, and they're like, no, that's the show. We want to see Mando and Grogu together. You can't split them up. So they had to retcon their ideas to bring them back together. Is that going to happen with The Last of Us when the two characters have to go their separate ways? I don't know. Because and with his character particularly, I don't know if fans are going to like it or if they're going to change the story enough so that that doesn't happen till the end of season 2 or whatever. I don't know. Because I think they said that they only want 3 seasons of this or something. And they are, I don't know. I thought there were talks that they were trying to split season 2 up into 2 parts. But I don't know. Uh, I like the first season, but they've got some really dodgy material to get around. Uh, if the fans are going to like it or not, right? I don't know who she is. I forgot who she is. Yeah. So you got a lot of clips here. Get on a train at one point. It looks like. Well, we know it's like acting wise is going to be great. Um, I just hope they don't get into the same problem that House of the Dragon just did by trying to stretch out the material too long. I know it's the executives say, well, the longer we can go, the longer we can make this. But then you ruin and you taint your product, right? At what risk? Next, Bring Her Back. Filming is wrapped on the second film from Talk to Me directors. So it's not the Talk to Me 2. It's called Bring Her Back. The directors, Danny and Michael Philippou. Bring Her Back. Okay, so started a Talk to Me sequel titled Talk to Me, Talk to Me. So had an action drama. So this is an action drama. Also had a horror script called Bring Her Back that they wanted to get off production. So they were dedicated to getting her back being made before the Street Fighter in favor of a horror movie. Well, yeah, they were going to make Street Fighter. They were going to make the Street Fighter movie, but that kind of got scrapped, which started filming earlier this year. Wait, Street Fighter started filming already? No, it didn't. Bring Her Back is wrapped in 41 days. Bring Her Back. Did we get some cast for this as well? I thought we did. Plot being held under wraps, but includes Billy Barat. So no real big names there. I thought there were some big names with it. Sally Hawkins. Okay, that's a big name. Yeah, what's going on with that Street Fighter live action? '26. Because I want to know who's going to be cast. Is Ryu going to actually look Japanese? Hopefully. This was a month ago. Would definitely prefer it to be animated CGI over live action actors. They should focus on one character story at a time and how the other characters may fit in at that character's path. Yeah, that's the way I think they should do it too. Again, if they the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat universes are so vast for story, like in lore. They're right. You could just take one character like they tried to do with the Chun Li story, James. No, that was to call it off. I don't even know what that movie was because it wasn't Chun Li's story from the game. They just, uh, and members of the Black Peas were in the movie, right? Wasn't the one guy Vega for some reason? Oh, God, what were you smoking? Anyway, if it's that mentality that you got rid of. Get rid of. Look at the lore. Look at the characters and how they're all interwoven. Take a certain aspect of it, develop that into a nice, tight 90-minute movie, and make people thirst for more. Right? Like, well, we saw Ken. I want to know what's going on with Ken. Well, I'd watch a movie all about Ken Masters. Or if you saw Guile, it was really weird in that movie about Rio, right? But I like the cut of his jib. Well, I'd watch a Guile movie and then have like Bison, kind of like the Thanos of that universe where he shows up in all these scenarios. It could work and make it tight, like a three movie arc where they all come together to fight Bison, right? I don't know. Well, I got sidetracked there, right? Anyway, bring her back. Yeah. Next, French pole vaulter's bulge costs him an Olympic medal. What? Why is this in here, James? Aside from Leon Marchand, who clinched his fourth swimming gold medal, what? Anthony Amirati has become an instant viral phenomenon after an incident involving his crotch. Oh, for crying out loud. Video. See the video? Roll the tape. Oh! Oh, that's not good. So his package dislodged the pole. That's a costly mistake. You got to tuck that in, man. If you're packing heat, uh, yeah, you need to have that strapped to the side. Maybe we put some ice down there too. I don't know. That's got to be embarrassing, right? That, on the world stage, uh, whatever. Next, we saw the Terminator 4 restoration. How did it look? Oh, yes, yes. That was playing over in Guelph, actually. Terminator. And I was like, there was only an 8 o'clock show. And it's like, do I really want to go over there, all the way over to another city just to watch this on the big screen? I've had my apprehensions about these AI upscaling to 4K. Uh, let's just take a look at what the reactions are. Because the renderings have not been good. However, the film has no grain whatsoever, and it looks pristine in a way that the film has never looked back in. It never looked that way back in 1984. To me, this is Cameron's prerogative as how timeless the film has become. He probably wants it to look as good as it can for younger generations. I honestly thought it looked really good. My issue was the restoration has more to do with the sound mix than anything. Oh, okay, so it's more about the sound mix. Yeah, because things were mixed differently back then. But the point is taken also with that film back then had grain to it, right? And things, well, depending on what kind of lights that you're shooting it in. If it's darker, they got to boost the ISO, which adds grain. It adds that grain. And when you get that grain into the background of things, like people standing in stands or something, it just looks things start to look wonky because the AI can't pick up enough of the faces to fix the face properly. So you get this mishmash of things, and it just doesn't look good. It's one of the side effects of this AI upscaling technique. And what else happens is that things get really uh, kind of sleek looking. Whoops. Where what'll happen is that their faces, the AI will smooth out their faces like it's putting on a filter. So sometimes, not here specifically, but things can start to look a little hasty, and I don't like that. It's a technology that's going to take some time to get fully improved, but we'll have to see how it gets there. Uh, Terminator's not the only one. Nightmare on Elm Street claws its way to a 4K UHD 40th release, which is fine now that I've got a 4K TV. I'll be wanting to get a hold of some of these properties and take a look. M. Night Shyamalan says he's working on a 4K release of The Village. But you guys know my thoughts on that. Next, original. The Never-Ending Story star reacts to news of the upcoming reboot. Yeah, there's a reboot of this coming along. So, let's take a look. Tammy Stronach, who starred as the childlike Empress in the 1984 movie, has said she does not agree with those who feel the Never-Ending Story should be left untouched and cannot wait to see how the tale is retold for modern audiences. Quote, there was a huge bidding war in Hollywood and in markets abroad. I just thought it would never happen. I have so many people that I speak who love the Never-Ending Story who tell me that no one should touch it. That's a travesty, but I really don't agree. The whole point of it is to inspire creativity and to make sure that every person keeps the kid and the dreamer in them alive. Retelling stories feel like a natural extension of that. Yeah. I think it could, Never Ending Story could definitely benefit from updated effects. I don't think they can rematch this scene though, because this scene has caused a lot of trauma for kids growing up. And some of the puppetry, and I think this was rear projection or something. Had lots of potential. It's right for a remake. So I kind of agree with the original actress. It's yeah, you're not doing any harm because he still got the original one. An upcoming Stephen King adaptation could reunite Hollywood's hot box office pairing, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. The Running Man, huh? Well, we know that Glenn Powell's attached. Is Sydney Sweeney going to be in that? I like Sydney Sweeney. She's got some good work. Immaculate. I really liked Immaculate. Madame Web, not so much. I need to see this rom-com that they were in. So, he's in talks for The Running Man. Next. Elizabeth Banks gives disappointing update on the Invisible Woman remake. So they were plans to be in the Dark Universe. Elizabeth Banks' Invisible Woman project got shelved due to COVID. Um, Another monster movie is followed by The Mummy's failure. Okay. So Elizabeth Banks was set to direct it, which ostensibly would have served her follow up to the modest critical and commercial hit Cocaine Bear. She also served to set to star as the title character. Okay, so for one thing, what happened was they made an Invisible Man movie and they were making another one. So I think Universal wants to see that through. I'm really interested in the idea that we have, and it is still there, but it's not something I'm actively working on at the moment. At this time, I'm making a television show right now. Then I got to go make another television show, and then we'll see where the heck what we're going to do. So it doesn't sound like Invisible Woman's happening anytime soon. You see Sophia Botella there, and I'm going to go see her in 21, 20, no, 19 days. Wow. I'll see her at the Toronto Fan Expo. I'll see if I can get a shot. She'll be like at a table way back there. I'm not paying $100 to get a picture with her. Because if I'm going to pay $100 to get a picture with somebody, it's going to be with Bryce Dallas Howard. And I like the Invisible Man movie. That did well on the channel. Next. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the 4K upscaling. See how his skin... Now, his skin had a little bit of a sheen on it to begin with because he was the more rubbery skin looking Terminator. But, yeah. I forgot that I pulled this one. It adds pores. It adds pores to the face that weren't there before. The camera originally didn't pick that stuff up because it's the AI thing, right? And it's like what I said, where it's like taking a mask, a filter, and putting it on. I don't like that because it's altering the image. And if you're just going to alter the image, you might as well just, I don't know, redo the effects entirely. Yeah, see there, now there, you can really see what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can get that back here. See how it's kind of uh like a crayon drawing almost, right? Um, because it's darkly lit there and there's grain, and because they took away the grain, now the AI's got to fill in gaps and it's starting to look like paste, like Play-Doh, almost, right? Uh, that's sort of the fallout of these AI upscaling projects. But apparently somebody said that the sound mix is the worst part of this. Yeah, you can really see it here. And yeah, it just doesn't look good. Anyway, I'll have to see how that goes. How long are we? We're 50 minutes. That's all I have here today, guys. Let's go over to the Twitterverse, see what's going on, see if I missed anything. And of course, if there's a big headline that drops, we'll get to it there. Hava Endbinder, X Season 3. Rahul Kohli joins Citadel Season 2. Good actor. Umbrella Academy. Jenna Ortega in talks to star in J.J. Abrams' next movie alongside Glenn Powell. I like Jenna Ortega. I like Glenn Powell. I do not like J.J. Abrams. The IMAX poster for Beetlejuice has been released. Let's blow that up. At least it's just the IMAX poster. Not a big fan of that. It's just the floating heads with IMAX on it. No, I don't like that. Next. New teaser for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice has been released. Okay, so there's been...
You definitely saw me that last time.
So random!
Afterlife? Let's go, honey.
How do I know that you're going to keep your word?
Well, there's...
now there's a good picture. That's almost worthy of it being a desktop, huh? This scene was so awesome. Yeah, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Channing Tatum's Gambit, X-23, Elektra. Awesome. Lily Collins to make London West debuts with Best Walls in Barcelona. Follows an American tourist who goes home with a handsome Spaniard. What begins as a casual encounter will evolve into a more complex situation. What's next for the Game of Thrones universe? A Night in Seven Kingdoms 2025, House of the Dragon Season 3 2026 for some godly, stupid reason. No. And you can't end Season 2 the way that you did, and then have us wait 2 years. Season 3 should have been already been shooting right now to be out next year. Aegon's Conquest, 10,000 ships. No. You're milking it. 4 animated series. You're milking it. Stop it. Deadpool and Wolverine is the Passion of the Christ to become the highest R-rated film, domestic film. John Schneider. Why is John Schneider trending? Did he get fired today? He's the coach of he's the manager of the Blue Jays. Since trade deadline, if I'm John Schneider, okay, so it's just people talking about John Schneider, worst head coach in the league. Yeah, I got to be honest, I haven't been watching the baseball guys. Yeah, this is one of those seasons where you just gotta have to write it off. Yeah, we know House of the Dragons returning for our 3rd season. Let's see what people on the Twitter threads here are saying. A lot of build-up, no action. Some reveals now 2 years of waiting, and we'll probably have a banger premiere for Season 3. Well, I thought we were going to have a banger premiere for Season 2, and we didn't really. Underwhelming finale. Underwhelming but good. Emma Darcy is on another. Yeah, Emma Darcy is fantastic. She's awesome. Sorry. They are awesome. So shows Olivia Cook too. Olivia Cook, fantastic. Next, is that it? New Prophecy. Welcome to Derry. First look, yeah, we saw that. New teaser for It. Welcome to Derry. We know that Bill Skarsgård's going to be back as Pennywise in this. All right. So all I have. Thought we would go over to some comments and answer them. So this is from my Trap movie review. Nothing great, but definitely good enough to watch. So we'll get that. Glad you enjoyed it. Use that. I usually don't like to use those. Yep, bad writing, horrible direction. Lisa Frankenstein out of the theater. Okay, so this is from AHD 4020. Yep, bad writing, horrible direction, dull acting. Over the top acting. Took me out of say that. This movie was good. Stop. This movie was good. Stop it. Deadpool 3 was all over the place and not in a good way, says D. Wilson from Trap. Stop what? I don't think I said anything bad about it, did I? In my Trap movie review? I'm not going to hit a thumbs up for that, but I'll say No, I don't want to stop it. Uh, about the Trap movie review. Garbage. It's a promotional thing for Shyamalan's daughter that his daughter's singing. She's a terrible actress. Yeah, but yeah, that didn't bother me too much. No, it didn't. Sometimes nepotism really offends people. For me, it didn't. Best part and worst part of Under Paris shark movie. Dungeon Quest noob says, you know, my problem with the movie mostly was the main character's plot armor. Spoiler alert. I think I don't really like the way they made everything so unrealistic with some of the things, like when they had explosives and exploded the catacomb, which would have gotten them turned to chum at the point. Yeah, when you overthink it, it doesn't make this answer like that. You like it? I'll say 6 out of 10. Whoops. 6 out of 10. Uh, Started the review off like we surprised you or something. I was recovering from a bad. Yeah, I started talking before that, and I was like, Trap is kind of like a movie of, well, and then I started it like that. This movie sucked, and the acting was terrible. Josh Hartnett was okay though. That only reply. Just like an Ariana Grande. Don't know about that one. P.S. Excellent movie. Okay, why is that? Why is a swear word in my? How did that get through? I thought I. Let's just give the traditional 3 dots reply to that one. Uh, Movie sucked. Save your money. I'd wait for streaming. This movie was dumb. Same response. I'd wait for streaming. Hope you react to another Hell's Kitchen seasons. Yes, we were. All right, that brings us to Art Glass. Glad you enjoyed it, love. Yeah, it was a really good movie. And I'm probably gonna see it again tomorrow. Chris Schober says, hey James, they just released director's movie. Ugh. Sorry, Chris. Ugh. That's what I think about the director's cut of. Okay, so then we're going back to Viking Wolf stuff. Those are just some done. All right, that's it. Guys, if something big, huge, and drops, I don't think so for a Monday. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe. Let me know your thoughts of some of these stories in the comments below, and we will talk about it. See you next time, right here on Mirror Domains. Bye.